Welcome to Life Skills TTP. Today we're going to talk about AI balance sheets, recycle and hype with the economic reality. And what does that mean? We got situations that are stopped, that put in a box that they're probably on top. If they leave it alone, they stop. If it's reaction to certain things that they open their mind, they try to say that they stay in real time. I'm not talking about recycled, copied, flipped the script, not moving. Their intent is to really talk, but it's on the low, not keeping it real slow. If I move back and forth, then I have to let it go. Let's move on. There are three realities redefining the economics of AI deployment: the cost reality, the productivity paradox, and the workforce shift. And so when we're talking about this, we're saying, what does it really cost? Is it worth hiring all this AI stuff? Because right here, the paradigm shift, companies budget for chatbots on subscription seats, but deploy agents consuming tokens per loop. The fundamental cost profiles are entirely different. Jason Canalisis reports paying $300 a day, $100K a year for a single cloud agent operating just 10% to 20% capacity. So I say this all the time. You talk about the replacing humans. It's not that, because right now they're just running this stuff. Is it going to be cost efficient? And so far it's not. That stuff is expensive. And so why AI budgets are breaking the conversational and the agentic workloads? Well, they got the cost structure, the token consumption, and human intervention. Continuous human prompt required. Well, you're just getting information. And so the MIT feasibility rule for most tasks, human labor is still the economical choice. So the 23% reality, according to MIT, only 23% of wages paid for computer vision tasks are currently cost effective to automate it. For the remaining 77%, the high cost of installing and operating AI systems make human labor the cheaper alternative. And so the small bakery paradox is a small scale of operations such as a local bakery. The upfront cost for automation and ingredient quality control via computer vision vastly exceeds the incremental labor cost saved. AI routinely fails the economic feasibility test, where a task represents only a minor portion of the human's overall job. So they took off with all these bots and agents, right? 77%, the high cost of installing operating AI systems. Simple to me. Despite the high cost, corporate AI adoption is accelerating rapidly. And so high-skilled services and finances are leading the charge. Smaller firms are aggressively coming off the sidelines, while less than half invested in the 2025 massive widespread adoption in the budget for 2026. If humans are cheaper, why are we buying so much AI? Why? I think they're sending a message. And the message that they're sending is that in the pandemic, we had music, we had parties, we had things. People didn't want to work. They said, hey, it's time to get back on the grind. They said no. And so a lot of this has to do with people keep saying no, and the fact that they didn't want to work. And I don't care if you get mad at me, because it's just the truth. I worked during the pandemic, so I know there's other circumstances and things of that nature that go into that. But a lot of this stuff that they sticking it to us is because of the refusal after the vaccinate, all that stuff was over. And even still till now, people are still holding on to the thought that they're going to do absolutely nothing. And you have to think about these people and say, okay, well, if we can use AI to replace them, though they don't want to work, then we're going to do that. At least we're going to try. But I told you, it's not, if you have basic AI skills and you have, all you got to do is look it up. I'm going to do a video. I might do it today, an interview of filling out this stuff, an actual real interview, not the stuff that people say you sitting here and wait 100,000 people turn them in, but actually it goes to an automated system where it reviews it immediately. And it reviews it for a lot of stuff, like if you used AI or chat or whatever, if you do any of that, you're going to be disqualified. It reads everything, it gives you what, and if your stuff lines up correctly, then you move on to the next step, and so on and so forth. But I'm going to do that in real time to show you the actual process so you can see exactly how these real interviews, these real applications you need to fill out and how they go. Because if they don't, there's some specific things that they should ask or have on there that are, number one is an assessment test. And then they're going to ask you if you're a citizen of this country. They're going to send you through all of that stuff also. So I just wanted to break that down, because people keep thinking this coming out of nowhere. If you're going to protest and refuse and say this and that, and you need more wages, but you don't even want to go to work, you want more money. I'll speak for myself in California. They advocated for that, and then they turned around and didn't want to work. And then when they cut half of their friends, then they all said, "Oh no, we're not going to work." So they collapsed a lot of stuff based on friendship merit and the fact that no, they're a club, a gang, they're all, it's the same, and they ride on the thing. And then now, when you look at this stuff, you go, okay, what are they going to do? Well, they don't trust you. Now, you want to work now. I guarantee you want to work now. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? Does not matter what it is. You'll do it. But you should have had the same mindset when you had the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be responsible and accountable. And if I'm able, and if I'm willing and able, I'm going to go on the front line. I'm going to contribute to this instead of taking away from it. Too many minuses. You know what happens when you have too many minuses? Well, you know what happens. And so the modern slow paradox and the gap between perceived and realized gains, well, what is the actual outcome of this? Okay, is it beneficial? Is it going to help us? And so there is a massive gap between the efficiency CFOs feel their teams are gaining and the actual revenue increasing hitting the ledger. Like PC revolution in the 1990s, transformative technologies are perceived as critical long before their efforts fully materialize in measures, productivity, statistics. And this is perfect, because what it is people think this stuff is replaced. It's not replacing them. In America, period, they always give you something that you can point to, right? They always give you something to say, hey, it's that man, it's this program, it's that racist organization, it's this, it's that. Now it's AI. All of a sudden, nobody was talking about this stuff before. Oh, it took all the jobs. This is the reason why. The reason why, and we have to be honest with each other, is because you played around. And then nobody thinks that's going to happen because, hey, a lot of people think they're foolproof. And then they don't work on their stuff. And they don't put themselves in a situation that if something happens, well, I don't have to worry about that because I'm on this level. And so they canned all of y'all in together because you do that whole corporate thing, at work. Y'all band together. And then they're saying, no, well, they need us. Well, if we all do this, and they say, well, y'all could leave, right? And then that's what happens. I believe behavior and mindset in America has ruined not only customer service, but people's ability to really see how they are acting at work, on the road, in grocery stores, getting fast food, whatever it is, I really think they need to look at themselves. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is do the research, do the statistics. I'm telling you, I don't have time for all that negative stuff. It's so much stuff now to the point where a person watching that has completely no hope. And I don't do that over here, because there is solutions and there is possibilities. And AI isn't the reason why all of this and that. And also people are very, very talented and creative, which is how you got to the point where you are on YouTube. You know, make videos. Don't be the the AI agent, so to speak, running around, you know, displeasing your pleasures. Displeasing your pleasures. I was trying to find something unique. Yeah, do what you do. That's why people subscribe to you. They didn't subscribe to you to hear you complain about something you know absolutely nothing about. But what people are telling you, I don't even know. That's why I say I'm an artist. I use the tools. I understand what they're meant for. They're not meant to deceive, to alter, to do all kinds of stuff negative. It's not for that. They never make any of this stuff for that. It's just that's what America likes. That's what America wants. And that they make their money. And then it goes so far, it gets to the point where they have to do something about it. When they have to do something about it, they give you something to point to and blame. And that tells them everything they need to know about you, because when it was great, you had nothing to say. And it's very, very obvious. And I don't know why you guys don't understand that. Pull your big, you know, what was that commercial? You're a big kid now or whatever. Pull your Huggies up. Pull them up and make some adjustments. You know, so we can have some fun and do some things. It's real weird, man. Everybody just running around pointing fingers. How you gonna do that? We know something's going on just because of the drastic drop. What? Who knows who they looking into? You don't know none of this stuff, man. So that's why I say that it's not anything to blame. Make the adjustment, and if you are a creative person and you know what to do, you're gonna make the adjustment. It's nothing. So all gains stem from operational efficiency, not hardware accumulation. So AI attribute later productivity growth 2026 forecast. Now, you got MTG, you got the construct, low skill service, high skill service, and finance. They're below 0.005, all of them. And that's capital dependent. And then if you got 50% of capital dependent, unlike in the 90s in the IT boom, the current productivity isn't driven by heavy on-premise hardware capital accumulation. Most firms are not building their own data center. 85% of revenue is based on the TFP. The vast majority of gains operate through cloud, SaaS models, improving workflows, product quality, and operational efficiency without expanding the corporate balance sheets and capital assets. And this is on how expensive AI is and how humans are still the best way to go. So you're complaining, but they understand this. They're not going to waste billions of dollars and then they have to come in and pay people the same. That's like double dipping in their pocket. And so they don't want that. They don't want people double dipping. The highest ROI comes from the innovation. It comes from innovation, not workforce reduction. So they need creative people. See, improving product efficiency at 2.88%, you know. Reducing labor costs. That's down here at 8.9. Reducing labor costs, you know, that's 1.80, 2.01. But the highest proven returns occur at STEM and developing better products and moving faster. Companies deploying AI solely as a blunt instrument and fire staff are prioritizing low yield motivation in the matrix. So they're trying to figure out how they can implement these things. It's not taking all the workers. I believe it's just taking the ones who do all of the sniveling. So dispelling the mass layoff myth. We'll get right to it right now. See, the head count holds remarkably steady, 0.37%. So here is the reality. While media narratives focus heavily on AI replacing human labor firm size and sector weight data from Federal Reserve projects, and an aggregate employment decline of two less than 0.4% due to AI in 2026. That's the reality, right? Employment is decline of like two less than 0.4%. And so the math, this translates roughly into 502,000 workers dynamically shifting across a massive economy over 160 million. AI is not causing immediate mass unemployment. However, underneath this macro stability, the severe micro relocation of skills is occurring. So you just have to retool yourself and just moving people around. These are the real statistics. It's the workforce reality macro headcount. And so the tale of two adopters, how firm size dictates AI strategy. So the larger firms, 500 plus employees, right, is 31% internal dividend to 13% hardware, 55% ops, highly capital intensive. See, the primary strategy is to build customized internal systems to heavy automate legacy processes. And the workforce impact is expecting net decreases in headcount, laser focus on shedding routine clerical and back office roles. Now, small firms, less than 500 employees, spend profile is about 64% operation, SaaS subscription, 24% internal, 7% hardware, higher per employee intensity. See, the primary strategy for them is to buy off the shelf cloud AI software to augment existing lean teams. See, the workforce impact is expecting modest net increases in headcount, actively hiring skilled technical roles, and leveraging new tools. And I'm giving you this breakdown of this because they're not going to give it to you. All they're going to do is complain on the internet. The internet, to me, is a place where people have got comfortable just complaining to invisible stuff and invisible people and picking people that are actually doing something to say, hey, that's crap you're doing, or that's not, but I don't understand what you're doing. And I keep giving you these things in real time. It's today, 4/29/2026, 2:05 in the afternoon. I'm going to start stamping this stuff like this just to let you know that I recorded this 2 months ago. I'm going to stay in real time because the data is coming out for this stuff, and people keep pushing this AI, they're losing jobs. Now, I know somebody in the comments is going to say, because they probably lost their job to AI, they're not going to tell you the whole exact story, and I guarantee you they had plenty of time to fix it. They had plenty of time to move on or do something else. They got together with some people and decided, if they do this to us, we're going to do that. We're going to HR or something weird. Okay, here's your severance package. Here's your time. It's over. Would you like to take this money? We're not taking it. And then they want to take it to court and go through all of this stuff. And at the end, they have less money than they would have given if they just took the severance package, get the good reference where they can refer to them, get on to the next situation, and understand change is good, and that it's not the end of the world, and they weren't just picking on you. This is a whole thing because it happened to me. As soon as they cut the education money, guess what happened to me? What? So I'm not speaking from like, oh man, I'm just doing, I have it all figured out. I was doing this and that. No, it happened to me. So I'm just letting you know, and it had nothing to do with AI. Absolutely nothing. And so the AI exposure spectrum replaces versus enhance, right? So in the office, at the admin support, replacing automation is 1%, well, 1.0. And then the neutral relocation is 1.0. And then the enhanced augmentation is 0.5. There's not, doesn't seem like a really big deal. So why is everybody saying that? Why are they selling that? I'm going to find out. Insight, AI seamlessly substitute routine clerical tasks but acts as a powerful complement to cognitive multiplier for higher skilled analytical, architectural, and managerial work. I wanted to keep going with the C's. So we have some strategic framework where to deploy AI at capital in 2026. And so right here is just going to tell you that the tasks are right complexity, complex, cognitive to routine, repetitive. Now humans is cheaper. Is AI cheaper? No, humans are cheaper. They know that. So, but if you had any common sense, you would understand that. What are these jobs that they replace? Well, a person that they constantly get complaints about every day of a person who actually applied to this job to have a customer service job and answer the phone, but does everything else but customer service, be pleasant, be nice, and attentive, and really try to help the person that's coming, because the person might be coming with stress. They might be coming with a numerous amount of things that they need this solved right away. So you got to have problem solving skills. You got to have patience. You got to have compassion. You got to have a lot of different stuff to do this job. They've been working on this automated thing that answers the phone for years. You know, they've been having this for over 20, 30 years. So you know they have a more sophisticated version where the data comes in and it says humans on this particular job, customer service job, is no good because their rating is below 30%, which means they're not pleasant enough to deal with the actual customer, which means they're losing customers, which means they are losing money, which means they are not in the business to lose money. So this is the reason why this automated stuff has replaced people. These same people that are complaining are the same people where they could play recording after recording of how terrible they are, and they still will defend themselves and say, she snapped at me. Well, you can't see the person. You gotta have problem solving skills. And so the strategic framework where to deploy AI capital in 2026 is at those places where people are not pleasant because they're losing customers and they're losing money. So is AI cheaper? No. Human labor is cheaper, but if it costs them more money to have them, then they're going to pay the price. So the 3 new rules of AI economics. Number 1, model tokens, not just seats. Genic AI scales exponentially based on the usage loops, fundamentally breaks out some budgeted models, track AIP utilization as strictly as human payroll. Number 2 is the target revenue, not just cuts. The highest proven returns are found in product innovation, decision speed, and customer acquisition. Companies are deploying AI solely as a fire staff are missing the primary ROI vector. So number 3 is the team up, not just clear out. Prepare for a fundamental shift in the workforce composition, and aggregate headcount will hold steady, but the demand for skilled technical talent to steer AI systems will heavily outpace the need for routine clerical roles. And that's why I just told you that. Routine clerical roles where people are not pleasant, they don't feel like they're getting paid enough, and they do this constantly. I know when I call these people, they usually press 0 to speak to an agent, because you notice they'll take you through everything they need to take to you before they get to a human. Why do they do that? Why do they take you through every single thing you need to get to before you get to a human? Because they know when you get to this human, they hope that you have solved your issue for real. And so the high cost of AI versus human labor. And that's just one part of it. And in conclusion, I just want to say that the stuff that's going on with the technology, they're just tools. Only the strong survive. Everybody's in competition. So at the end of the day, there's not going to be that much stuff. They done cleaned up a lot of stuff. I know you guys are happy on YouTube. They done did a lot of things, because you think those things are taking your views. The only thing that's taking your views is, what I didn't know YouTube was? Like, you can literally copy somebody. Like the bald-headed guy that pops up in my timeline, but there's about 7 more. They do the exact same thing, and I believe that definitely is stealing views and traction. Definitely. But that's the way it's set up. And then once I understood that, I said, well, I have to make it a little difficult then. Because it's just that way. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows it. That's why they say, hey, like this, you can blow up, you can do, and then when they get rid of you, then you're like, hey, there's 10 other channels. You know what they do? Then they go tell on everybody else. That's why I said, this place crazy, man. They be on some weird stuff. But Life Skills TTP, the power of shared experiences. Human labor is still better than AI. AI is expensive. Enjoy your day.